Would you like to hit the ball further by making a slower golf swing? It sort of doesn't make sense, does it? But in this particular training video, we're going to go through that. We're going to actually create a slower swing, but hit the ball further, be more efficient and hit better golf shots. Okay, so welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thanks for joining us on this training session. So we're going to talk about hitting the ball further. We all want to hit that ball further, don't we? We all want to gain those extra yards. But how do we go about doing it? And most of the times I see it's going to be more through trying to move that club as fast as you can through the power through your hands and arms, and not necessarily using the body. But what happens, and typically what I see a lot of golfers, and it's happened in a few over the last few days in my coaching, which is one of the reasons why I thought I wanted to do this video, is the speed comes through the backswing. Okay, now we're not hitting the ball with a backswing, are we? Okay, so why do we need all that speed? So I'm seeing a lot of golfers, they're standing there and they're making a golf swing, and straight from word go, the quick away. And it's very snatchy and quick and jerky, and they've took the club back so fast. Sometimes the swing gets very long, it gets out of sequence, and they're throwing it back down, trying absolutely to gain those extra yards they always sort of want. Now, many of us know it's important to use our body correctly and get things working in a correct sequence through that golf swing. So we need to have that little bit of time to allow those movements to actually happen to start off with, but also in the right order in the golf swing itself. So we know as we get to the top of that golf swing, we want to try and get our club in as good a position with club face controls as we possibly can. We're winding our body up, aren't we, as best as we physically can as a range of movement for you as an individual. Then we're going to get a weight shift. We're trying to move across. We're trying to build a little bit of rotation. And then obviously we turn the club through. And the speed, we want that speed at the bottom of the golf swing through that golf ball. We don't want it through that backswing. We don't want it starting the downswing and then slowing up through that golf ball. We need to max it through that golf ball itself. So you'll notice on that first shot I've just hit there, which was a very quick, for me, felt very quick. I'm not really sure what it looks like, and sometimes what it looks like to what it feels can be very, very different, can't it? But to me that felt really quick, rush, snatchy, a little bit lack of control there. Feels like I'm going to struggle to control what that golf ball does, because you keep club head speed 89.9, typically in that sort of high 80s, touching that 90 mile an hour anyway. Ball speed 120, so that dictates on your strike, but maybe a better chance of losing your strike as things get snatchy, jerky, and a bit out of sync in the golf swing. Carried at 177. So for me, that felt uncontrollable. It felt really fast, but the speed, when you think about it, is actually more through the backswing and not actually, as I mentioned, down through that golf ball. So just going to make some swings now, and this is something I maybe want you to have a little look at. Again, everybody's tempo is a little bit different, aren't they? But if I would say to you, right, let's make some slower swings up the top. Let's make sure we finish, we complete through that backswing, we wind up properly. And then from the top, keep that transition smoother, and then really feel that acceleration. And this will sound a bit strange, but the acceleration to be into the follow through of the golf swing, okay? When we get the acceleration more in that finish of the golf swing, we typically turn it on more down at the bottom, which is obviously through the golf ball where we want it. So many of you know, if you're watching my videos, a lot of comments I do get is like, your swing's very sort of smooth, looks very sort of easy, and you hit the ball quite a long way. Yes, it does, and I think for me, I do feel like I do take the club quite controlled through that backswing, and I do turn it on in a good area of the swing, which is typically where I would get my distance with, where it doesn't look like I'm thrashing at the golf ball. So let's do that. So sort of smoother swing, or definitely slower. I'm going to go extreme here. I'm going to go like what to me is too slow. Okay, and this is something I would probably recommend for you to do a little bit to experiment. Just go what feels really slow, because what to you will feel really slow will probably still be fairly quick. Okay, so I feel this super slow for me, but I'm still going to accelerate on the way down. So that felt really long, slow, deliberate, and then through. And you can see that's 88.3. So, you know, there's no real change of speed there, is there? To me, I would have put without seeing numbers there, I would put my bottom dollar on that was much slower. And we don't like that, do we, as a golfer? If it feels slow, we're going to lose distance. We don't want to do that. I'm trying to gain distance, or you might be trying to gain distance. We go faster, don't we? Okay, so let's go again. So think of it like a scale of 1 to 10, 10 maybe being your normal sort of speed that you would feel normal, comfortable. And I would maybe sort of be dropping this back to maybe a number sort of 6, 7, maybe even less than that if you're a very quick move of that golf club through that backswing. So strikes are so much better. I feel like I've got so much more control. And there you go, 90.6. I've actually moved that faster, yet this backswing to me felt really slow. So we're changing it out. Instead of it being very fast and then probably slowing up, you know, because again, at the end of the day, you've got a technique and a sequence to think about, haven't we? So a lot of golfers will tend to sort of see, we'll get to the top and then they throw, you know, get to the top, it's like a green light, right? That ball's now going to get hit. Whoom, we throw at it, don't we? We know when that happens, things are going to have to slow up through the impact for you to try and realign that club face to get your strike that you sort of want. So things are going to be slowing up. So let's have a little more of a gradual build up. So think of it like a boxer. Really good analogy here. You know, a boxer, you know, he wants to have his maximum speed of the fist coming in contact, isn't it? The speed wants to be right on contact, which is like at the end, isn't it? There's a lot more going to happen with the drawback, the shift, and then to throw the actual punch itself. So it's not going to be through the speed of the sort of backswing, so to speak, of the boxer, is it? It's that gradual build up and then boom. And it's the same thing like golf swing. You know, you're going to sort of gradually build it up and then swing. And if you were to think not speed on the downswing, because again, I don't want to go at it from the top too much, it's trying to feel the speed just after the ball into that finish. Okay, so you're going to commit. I mean, how many times, if I say this to you now, how many times do you feel like you don't commit, you don't get through the shot? We hear that all the time, don't we? And I think a lot of golfers can relate to that. So keep it smooth up to the top. Feel that acceleration into the follow through. Yeah, it feels like a nice full follow through. Getting strike was pretty good. There you go, 91.5. That didn't feel fast, it felt slower. Yeah, I've produced more speed. Okay, it's an interesting one. Definitely want to have a go with on the range first. You know, probably what I'd say to you there is go quite extreme to start with. Don't worry too much in the connections, maybe to start off with, but maybe hit some swings where it's like really slow and then through, and then just start to build up the speed in that follow through, as we mentioned, not through the backswing, and hopefully you will gain some extra club head speed, extra ball speed, more yards with less effort, and hopefully some control as well. Okay, appreciate watching as always. Hopefully that'll help. Give it a go. Comments down below, let me know how you get on with that. If you do suffer with a fast backswing, I'd love to hear how you've got on that. I do get some really good success with that through my sort of coaching, so I'd love to hear your feedback as always. If you'd like to go into something a little bit more deeper, my online lesson availability is still there. So again, there's a link in the description down below, or you can drop me an email to find out a little bit more about the sort of online lesson service that I offer. But hopefully we'll catch up with you all very soon.